Welcome to day 47 of the Boat and RV 100 series. I am Joe Downs with the Storage Moguls, and today I'm going to walk you through the security standard that tenants storing high-value recreational assets actually expect and where most facilities fall short. There are a lot of people talking about storage, but not many of them are still doing it. We are, though. Every deal we teach, we've touched. Every framework we share came from something real, not a textbook, not a seminar from 10 years ago. Our community is made up of couplepreneurs, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs who are actively evaluating acquisitions right now. Deals between $400,000 and $2 million. Why that range? Because they're financeable with many financing options. And they're the kind of deals that actually get done. And the word mogul, for those who ask about that, well, it means something specific here. For us, it means a sophisticated operator of storage facilities, someone who's learned the full arc from finding the deal to running it. And who knows that acquiring and optimizing is very different from just buying. And that difference usually is worth tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars per deal. So if you want a community that's actually in the field with you, you should join storagemoguls.ai. You can start for free and advance at your own pace. All right, let's get into today's episode because the tenant storing $150,000 Class A motorhome has a completely different set of security expectations than a self-storage tenant. And if you're running a boat and RV facility with a self-storage security mindset, you've got a little bit of a gap there worth closing. Here's the context that makes security different in this vertical. A self-storage tenant stores boxes, furniture, equipment, maybe. The average unit value is a few $1,000s, maybe. A boat and RV tenant stores a vessel or vehicle that might be worth $50,000 to $350,000. It has a title. It has insurance. And that insurance policy has requirements. Many marine and RV insurance policies require the storage facility to meet certain minimum security standards as a condition of coverage. Perimeter fencing, gated access with a PIN or access card, lighting at the gate, and long drive aisles. Some policies specify camera requirements. When a tenant's insurer asks where the boat is stored and the tenant says, at an open lot with a padlock on the gate, that's potentially a coverage issue. When they say a gated facility with cameras, perimeter fencing, and Bluetooth access control, that's a different answer altogether. The security you provide isn't just about protecting the asset, it's about protecting the tenant's ability to collect if something goes wrong. And knowing this changes how you sell your security infrastructure to prospective tenants. Let's walk the baseline security standard here. The minimum every boat and RV facility should have to meet the tenant expectations in this vertical. Perimeter fencing, 6 to 8 feet. Chain link with privacy slats is functional. Wrought iron or steel panel fencing is a step up that matters for Class A facilities. Perimeter needs to be complete, no gaps, no low sections. A motivated person can get over a 6-foot fence, but the fence isn't just a physical barrier. It's a legal and insurance signal that the facility is secured. Right, we covered gate technology in day 43. The baseline there is, PIN access for all tenants with a staff override. Bluetooth auto open, that's for your premium. Either way, the gate logs who enters and when that log is your security record. Camera coverage at every aisle and gate entrance. Not just the front gates, every aisle. If a tenant's boat is broken into in row C, and you have no camera coverage in row C, you have a problem. Operationally and in the tenant conversation that follows. So you need to have adequate lighting for nighttime access. Many tenants access their vehicles or vessels early in the morning after dark, particularly during a fall move-in and spring move-out. A facility where someone can't safely navigate the drive aisles at 6 a.m. is a facility that gets bad reviews from boaters who wanted to get their water or get on the water at first light. Camera placement is worth its own conversation because most operators get it wrong. The instinct is to put cameras where you can see the most wide shots that cover large areas. The better approach is to put cameras where incidents happen and where evidence is most needed. So priority 1, all entrances and exits, every gate, If something is stolen and removed from the facility, the exit camera is your evidence. Second priority is the perimeter. If something is brought in over or through the fence, that perimeter camera is your evidence. And then third priority is drive aisles, starting with the rows that serve the highest value vehicles or your covered spaces or closed storage. If you have them, get the camera coverage on those first. Open air rows follow next. Some common mistakes: cameras pointed at the sky or the back of the signs, cameras with no lighting that produce usable footage at night, cameras placed to cover the office instead of the storage areas. A security camera system that doesn't actually document what happens to stored vehicles isn't a security system. It's a liability without protection. I'd recommend getting a security camera assessment from a commercial installer who has experience with outdoor storage or marina properties. They'll see configurations that facility owners don't. The insurance angle is one of the most underutilized conversations in boat and RV stores, and here's how it should work. When a prospective tenant calls to inquire about your facility, they're thinking about price, location, and amenities. And they should. But most operators sell in those three dimensions as well. The operators who convert at a higher rate also tell the tenant, our facility meets the security standards most marine and RV insurance policies require. And then list them. We have perimeter fencing, gated Bluetooth access, camera coverage on every aisle, and full lighting. If your insurer asks where you're storing your boat, we can give you our facility specs. And when you have that conversation with the tenant, that does three things. It differentiates you from the facilities that don't know that their insurance or don't know what their insurance requires. It signals that you understand the tenant's world. They care about their insurance, and you've demonstrated that you do too. And it removes a potential objection before it's raised. Many tenants don't know their policy has a storage facility requirements until they file a claim. So the operator who educates them before that happens builds a level of trust that's very hard for a competitor to displace. Let's talk about the advanced security options. The upgrades that separate Class A facilities from the baseline. So motion sensors tied to an alarm system or notification system that alerts your manager. When something moves in a row that shouldn't have activity at 2 a.m., you want to know. Some systems integrate with your camera platform so the motion trigger pulls up the relevant camera feed automatically. License plate recognition at the gate entrance is a premium. This is becoming more accessible in terms of costs and particularly valuable at facilities with frequent access. Then you have a record of every vehicle that entered with or without a registered tenant credential. Individually alarm spaces are the premium tier, each covered or enclosed space with its own sensor. A breach of that specific space triggers an alert, another premium feature. At facilities storing Class A motorhomes and high-value enclosed boats, this level of security that's a legitimate selling point and can support a meaningful rent premium. The capital cost scales with the sophistication of the system as well. So I'd recommend sequencing the upgrades, baseline first, then cameras on all aisles, then motion sensors, then license plate recognition, or individual alarms as the facility's revenue supports it. One practical note on how to document and communicate your security infrastructure: you should create a one-page security spec sheet for every facility. List your fencing spec, access control system, camera count, and coverage map, lighting standard, and any advanced features, and keep it current. And you can use it three ways. So first, in a leasing conversation, you can hand it to them or email it as part of an inquiry follow-up. Second, as a response to tenants who ask about the security, you can just, okay, here's our full security spec. It's much stronger than describing it verbally. Third, for insurance purposes, we just talked about this. If a tenant needs to provide their insurer with facility security information, having a documented spec sheet makes that process straightforward and positions your facility as organized and professional. And a current security spec for every facility you operate is not a tall task. It's a small document that does real work in the leasing conversation and in any insurance-related discussion. And it's a selling point. I'd recommend building one if you don't already have one. All right, here's the frame. The security in this vertical is not about protecting boxes like we do in self-storage. It's about protecting the vehicles your tenants' families travel in, the assets their insurance policies cover, and the trust they're placing in you when they, hand over the gate code in the driveway. All right, next up, day 48, tenant insurance programs. Fun, right? Required, recommended, or revenue. We're going to go into the three options every boat and RV operator has on insurance and the one the most operators are leaving on the table. Please like this video if the insurance angle on security changed how you think about selling your facility's infrastructure to prospective tenants. Subscribe so you don't miss day 48. Tenant insurance is a daily conversation in this vertical. And I know it doesn't sound fun, but most operators are handling it wrong, and they're leaving money on the table. And share this with a boat and RV operator who's about to put in a camera system. That placement conversation alone is worth 5 minutes of their time. StorageMoguls.ai, folks, has the full operations playbook framework for boat and RV facilities, including security spec sheet, template, and the insurance conversation guide. It's free to join. Join StorageMoguls.ai, build the facility tenants trust with six-figure assets, and execute the security standard that matches the asset class. We'll see you tomorrow.